You are now listening to The Black Spark, a podcast about actively balancing healthy relationships,
mindful parenting,
and mental and physical wellness in this crazy world.
I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
Welcome to The Black Spark.
Welcome to The Black Spark. I'm your host, Nia.
And I'm your host, Adai.
And I'm tired.
She ain't getting no sleep.
I have been up since 2 a.m. It is now pushing 10 p.m. So
yeah, I don't even be doing that.
This episode gonna be what it be.
It's gonna be what it be.
How was your week?
Coming to you live from an undisclosed location.
Yes.
With
I am incognito. Part of the Aranon Runspiracy.
What is happening? Yeah, nah, she looked like a whistleblower. I told her before we got on we started recording. She do.
My wig wasn't working. I need to get one of them lazy wig hats so that
it's still a hat. They're not gonna see it.
With hair,
with
so it looks like it's like hair that just comes down. So it looks like you at least got something going on under there.
I think those were pioneered back in the 90s when folks wanted to have locks.
Oh,
and they was trying to look like Rastas.
That what?
I remember that bullshit. When I first saw that, I was like, yo. Because I had locks at the time, and I was mad. I was like, yo, what's wrong with y'all?
Such a hater. Well, this is I'm in need of this now.
No,
anyway,
it's clear. It's okay.
How was your week?
My week, my 2 weeks.
Oh, yes.
Because
shit happens.
As y'all have figured out, we can't get our shit together.
I mean, sometimes we be getting it.
We be consistent for like a month and a half, and then it's like, yeah, it's not right now.
Nah.
Right now. They be all right. They be all right.
They understand. We have a lot going on.
The truth is.
And,
Yeah.
So we appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We love you.
We are striving to be more consistent, but we are still putting out work. So good.
A work in progress.
Yes.
Yes. My weeks
were
phenomenal. Students graduated.
Hey.
We closed the buildings.
Hey.
I was invited to some events, and I spent some time with people, like hugs and pictures and all of that lovely stuff. And it was cool. It was cool to reflect on my anniversary of 1 year in my new position. I will say I have delivered lots of things that I've delivered. Wait. If y'all don't know that one, that's sorry.
Oop.
No.
Gotta put my incognito back on. Okay, go ahead.
You know how you be watching them comedy shows and the blur disappears for a second?
That's what just happened. They almost made me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that I promised when I first got here, I was going to do systemically to change our systems and upgrade and services, blah, 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 blah. I have delivered on many of my promises, built a lot of new relationships, connected with. Anyway, I feel good about myself.
Yay.
That's I gotta put a whole list together before I'm able to deliver something like what I just said, though, because on a daily I'm like, oh, you fucking up. Oh, you're fucking up. But you can't believe everything you think.
That's right.
Because it'll get you.
We are our worst critics.
Yes. Well, yeah, actually, no, I was about to say no. But actually, nobody talks to me the way I talk to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still good and happy. My mom. So I didn't tell you when my mom's called earlier. She had a fall. In late at night in Brooklyn.
Why was she out late at night?
Yo. Good question. She was going to the grocery store.
Why?
She was visiting her friend who I found out has MS and Parkinson's.
No.
I was like, damn. But yeah, so she was just going to the grocery store to get something. She missed part of the curb.
She be doing
and
that.
She fell and hurt her knee. Anyway, I'm happy that when my uncle called me to tell me that he wasn't saying, your mom's is dead, right? He was like, she's okay. I think she's okay. But there was a situation. I'm like, yo, give it to me straight.
Yeah.
Stop playing, man. Your brother doesn't know. I heard it from your aunt, and I'm like, hey, say what needs to be said. He's like, look, call your brother.
Fifth hand knowledge.
Perhaps your brother knows. Call him. Why you calling me that? Nah, I was happy that he called because I called her. She didn't answer the phone, and I was like, but anyway,
all this without telling me. But go ahead.
We were planting trees, my love. We were running around planting trees with the children. Anyway, so I'm happy that things worked out and she's good. And I will say that listening to the students speak at various ceremonies, and then the folks who be struggling, yo, they've been through a lot of shit. I've had a challenging-ish life, but not that serious. My life is not that hard. A lot of the challenges that I have now are self-induced, but only because of the situations that I've created because we're doing things. A lot of you folks, my mantra for myself to keep me going is life is happening for me, not to me. Life is happening for me, not to me. Life is happening for me, not to me. And it helps me to stay conscious of opportunities and what I can do differently and how I can look at things differently. A lot of these students have had stuff happen to them, right? And yeah, everything happens to you, but like, oh, they are stronger than me. They are stronger than me, and so wow. I'm just blessed to be where I am, and able to show up in their lives the way they need it. And I'm like, yo, what you need from me? I will bend the rules. Let's figure it out. We will make new rules because you need love.
That's great.
So
that you can be that for them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy for myself, happy for them, and I'm inspired.
Nice.
And then on top of that, including of all the stuff that we do with our son and the children and 3 very different human beings, putting that into perspective and seeing the people I serve on a daily basis in their present and thinking about my children in their present and how I can help my children get to a better place for the future requires a lot of learning more from us, says the life coach. He said, look here, y'all, I just talked to your son and I blame the parents. What are you modeling? And I'm like, hold on, sir. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So, yeah, that was my weeks. Plenty more, but I can't continue to take up the air.
Really?
Yeah, it's hot in here, as you can tell by now. I'm sorry. My love. Yes. I mean, hey, anonymous person, tell us about what you want to deliver to the audience.
I don't have very much to say. I was off this week because I am starting a new position on Monday. So I was trying to rest and relax. Things
started out that way,
and I wasn't able to relax the way that I wanted to. But I still got some good chill time in for myself. We're trying to get, this is kind of them damn kids-ish, but trying to get the kids involved in more extracurriculars now that summer is about to start, and it is a grip. I don't know how people do this, and I don't know if it's just because we have 3, because it's super expensive. It's super expensive to do all the things that we want to do for them. Martial arts and summer camp and swimming and basketball and gymnastics, and it is a lot. And
it's all optional.
It's not necessarily all optional.
What are they going to do sitting around the house?
It's not really all optional. I mean, it is, unfortunately, it is a luxury, because these are actually things that kids need to be able to do.
They should be doing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in this country, it is a luxury to be able to provide this kind of stuff for your children, and it shouldn't be that way. And it's also a luxury that comes at a huge cost, because if there's not at least one person working from home, then it's a lot of logistical moving parts situation on top of the money situation, right? So yeah, so that's been my week, just trying to figure out what their schedule is going to be for the next 3 months. But yeah, no, that's been my week. Just getting my mind right, my body right, prepared for the new job, and starting to transition out of school mode and into summer mode. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes.
You have a good Mother's Day?
Oh, I forgot about Mother's Day. Yes, I had an excellent Mother's Day. I would say this has been the best Mother's Day that I ever had.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Why?
Great. No, I'm just saying. I'm happy for you.
It could be better.
Of course.
This is the best Mother's Day that I've had.
We'll see what we can do next year.
So far. There's only been 10
years. Yeah.
So usually kids be making stuff in their art classes and it be shit.
Mm-hmm.
This year,
she said to whisper to the mic.
This year, it was amazing. The picture frame that Kyrie made me, he actually painted it nicely and put gems on it.
Yeah, he did.
And Sanai made an entire bouquet of flowers out of construction paper, which we never did that. We just cut out little flowers and taped it on there.
You know what I mean?
She made a bouquet out of construction paper. They made me books that they hand wrote.
Little notes on each flower on the petals. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. She made me a big note to go on the fridge, and they laminated it. And she's like, "That's so it doesn't get messed up if it gets wet." So that was nice.
Was super cute.
And then Tatum created what is that called?
Oh, the resin. She created a
flower art.
You poured a clear resin over the art project that you've done to have it set. Like when the bee is in dinosaur amber.
Yes. My grandmother had those. And I was like, why are there like roach, skeletons as your coffee table decor?
Why is this here? Did you catch them and pour resin?
What happened? Why is it brownish?
Tell me the story about this.
Is it dirty or is that the color? Like, what's happening? But anyway.
But yes, hers was clear. Tatum's was clear, and it was full of flowers, not roaches. Distinction.
And then Adai bought me a wonderful ring.
Sorry, I'm not even bigging up myself. I'm just.
So it was great. Mm-hmm. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes, you're welcome. I mean, it passed, so we'll lose the opportunity.
Okay, now can we talk about them?
Now we can talk about all the terrible things they did. No. I'm joking.
Talk about them damn kids.
Let's
talk about them damn kids.
I love you too much. Do it louder. What is that?
So one day I had overheard, I don't know who was in the room. I don't know if Adai was in the room or not, but Kyrie had said some of his toys had made love.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh my. I missed that.
I don't know what he thought that meant. But I had asked them in the car, like, I was asking Tatum because she's 10, she's in the 4th grade. I was like, hey, have you had sex education? And they all like, ew, no, why would I have sex? I'm like, well, because you're about to, people in your class have already started their menstrual cycles. You're about to hit puberty. Like, this is the time to kind of talk to kids about, sexual education.
You trying to figure out the words?
I'm tired.
I see that. Exacerbated. Go.
And so Sadai all the way in the back. She all the way in the 3rd row. She go, oh God, please don't talk about sexual education. like she'll never want to know.
Oh my goodness, I heard that in the car.
Yes.
I didn't know nothing about Kyrie.
Kyrie and his toys
had made love.
Yes, I don't know which toys and I don't know what love they was making, but I don't know how we got on this topic of long division. Kyrie said, I said, well, you could do long division in 2 ways-ish. Like you could either have a remainder or you can have decimal points. Whichever way you want.
I know this. Mm-hmm.
He goes, well, I like decimals because I'm trying to minimize my usage of letters in math. Letters belong in the alphabet.
Okay.
He's 8.
Minimize. I'm trying to minimize my usage of letters.
In math.
Letters belong in the alphabet. Mama. Wow. He be delivering these things. He said something else the other day that we was like, what?
Yep.
Did he just say that? My God. Okay, so these funny people.
Uh-huh.
Other day, Tatum's in the shower. Kyrie's doing something and Sanai's getting ready for bed. And she gets into her bed, and she turns around and points at me, like leans over the edge of her top bunk and says, Poppy, what's she saying? Poppy, you need to give Tatum her money. So I think I know what she's talking about, the Tooth Fairy, right? I was like, huh? I looked her dead in the eyes. Huh? I said, Sanai. She said, and then she goes, because you are the Tooth Fairy. I just stared at her blankly and just stared. And then she goes, we've already, oh no, I said, Sanai, we've already talked about this. And then she interrupts me. She goes, or at least you're one of them. So give Tatum her money, Poppy.
Did she have a knife?
Yeah, she did have a very dangerous pointing finger, though. She was looking at me crazy, turned around to the side of her eye. Or at least one of them. I was like, okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about tonight.
Oh my God.
I'm going to head out now.
Wow. She said, run them pockets,
Run them
bro.
pockets. Okay. Other day, after haircuts, we waiting for these pretzels to be done. Kyrie's like, hey, Poppy, does this place have cameras? And I was like, yeah, man, it's a mall. What you think? And I was like, look, you see them domes over there? They go one over there, and then there's that one over there, and over there's another one. And if you turn around, look by the Target. You see those two by the door? It's over there. And then way down the hall, look over there. It's over there. And I bet you they probably got something that you can't see because that's the point of security. I was like, they're everywhere. He goes, oh, so like silverfish? Except they're not for security.
What? How are silverfish everywhere?
Remember in the old apartment? Silverfish just show up out of nowhere?
So I don't know if y'all know what silverfish are.
Mm-hmm.
They're little silverish looking crawly bugs.
Yeah, like half an inch long. And they're silverish. And they just look like they're swimming when they're crawling. They just be popping out of nowhere. And they be showing up here too.
I haven't seen one here.
Oh, I have killed at least 4. In the past year.
Wow.
I just see them and I smush them.
Listen, you live in California.
Yeah.
Even in the city, it's like I'm still in nature.
Yes, literally.
I'm still in the middle of nature.
Middle of nature. That's just what it is.
Got coyotes, rabbits.
Yeah.
Was it hawk or a falcon? The one that attacked
I think it might have been a falcon. It just, it came swooping down silently. Because that's what they do. And got on the head.
Wow.
Because it had a nest that was nearby, and clearly she was a threat. Oh my goodness! So yeah, that's them damn kids.
Okay, we gonna be done on the falcon.
We
end it on the falcon.
Yeah. Watch your heads, yo. Protect your neck. We in nature.
You better protect your neck. You run them pockets. So for this one, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, so it's going to be a little bit heavy, trigger warning. I had a patient come into the office probably like 2-3 weeks ago. This was a patient who was visiting from out of town. She kind of like lives in 2 places, but she was visiting her daughter who she has multiple daughters that are here in California. And apparently she came in this time because her grandson just died. Oh. He was 14 and he committed suicide.
Damn.
And she's a grandmother and she doesn't always reside locally. So I'm not exactly sure how much of the story that she knows about what happened. But she said that they had no warning signs that anything was going downhill, except all of a sudden his grades started to go down. And his grades started to go down. He brought a report card home that wasn't up to par. So his father fussed at him and told him, you know what, I'm taking away your devices until you get your grades back up. So give me your iPad, give me your phone, blah, 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 right? So the kid, gives it to his father, gets upset, goes out into the garage, and his father is upstairs getting dressed, ready to go for work, and he hears a bang. And the kid grabbed whatever gun was in the house and shot himself in the head. And I'm not sure, but if I'm remembering correctly, after the fact, they found out that there was bullying happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it involved social media or not, but there was bullying that was happening, and that may have also played a part into the bad grade situation. Yeah. And so, like, how is your daughter doing? He had a sister who was like a little bit older than him, and it's like, how's the sister doing? Like, how is the family doing? It's like, I understand that, people come to chiropractors for physical release. Sometimes that physical release also releases some emotional tension and things like that. I was just like, how are y'all not just all rolled up in a ball crying? It's your 14-year-old grandson's funeral. Like, I don't understand how you're even standing here talking to me.
Yeah, and then it's not even like if it was a different kind of tragedy where he was killed, like at least you can channel it into anger and rage. But like that sorrow is deep.
And then imagine the father. Yeah, he's like, I'm just doing the bare minimum of disciplining my child, like basic shit. Like, you don't get to have your devices. That's the new school grounding. Like, you can't go out with your friends. That nowadays is you can't have your phone, you can't have your iPad, you can't have your Xbox. Okay, that's new school grounding. It's just regular. And so I say all that to say, we are struggling right now with, making sure our children are being respectful, that they're being empathetic, that they're being understanding. But one of the things that the coach brought up to us was, how are we presenting ourselves to them? How are we interacting with them? Are we making sure that they have a voice and that they know that they have a voice and that they are being heard? I don't know anything about this patient's family, but what I definitely took away from it is, like, get your kids into shit. Get your kids into other stuff outside of school, outside of social media, outside of their devices. Because that can be a 24-hour loop of people bullying them, DMing them, saying shit to them. So know my friends, my kids' friend group, know my kids' friends' parents. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that we have that we are aligned in the way that we're raising our children. Make sure that they have other shit to do. Because we don't need them to be bored and filling their time with some bullshit.
Yeah, for me, it's funny how synchronistic we are when it comes to the show. I was talking to Tatum this week. Actually, I talked to all the kids in the car twice this week about devices. Because the other day, Tatum was on her watch because her friends were texting her. It was like 7 something, maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock.
In the morning?
No, at night.
Okay.
The next day it happened in the morning.
Okay.
Anyway, long story short, I was like, yeah, you need to stop. Like, let them know you're not doing this. And she was like, well, why? Because they're messaging me. I was like, yeah, but you need to be getting into bed. Like, it was slowing her down. Like, instead of walking, the other day I saw her just stop. Like yesterday, and it's texting, and I'm like, yo, stop. Point is, I explained to them about the research that I've listened to and read about how constantly being online is unhealthy because you're always anxious, waiting for the next message. Yes, the next chime, the next notification. And that dopamine hit creates different neural pathways. And I walk them through neural pathways and how practice works and they understood it because of video game methodology that I'm talking about. Anyway, I explained to them what not to do and why we set the school time on it. 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's it. That's the only time. You know, so I kept saying, I was like, when you're here with us, I want you to be with us. I don't want you to be thinking about and waiting and missing what your friends are doing. When I grew up and I talked to them, you know, that whole in my name, I was like, you would see your friends at school and then you would walk each other home or whatever it is, and then you would separate. And that's time to be with your family. That's time to clean, do homework, play, be bored, wrestle with your family, fight with your family, whatever it is, do dishes, prepare clothes for the next day. All of those things allow you to be present in the moment. And so I was like, it's important for you to be present with the people you're with. And then when you get up in the morning and you go back to school, you see your friends. Being away from them gives you the opportunity to miss them, gives you the opportunity to think about them, to create whatever you're going to create for the next day. And that makes that next day even more important. That makes that time with them even more important.
I will say also that, I mean, this is slightly funny, and I don't mean to poo-poo on what we just spoke about, because what we just spoke about was heavy, but I do want to bring some levity to the conversation. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. So Tatum has a friend who she really likes, loves hanging out with her, loves playing with her, but she plays a little too rough, or sometimes she can, you know, tease a little more than Tatum would like, you know. And I was like, well, Tatum, that's because she has like home friends, like cousins and other people who they're allowed to actually fight with each other. They're allowed to actually like tease each other. This is things that, you know, when you grow up in a large family and you have cousins, you're like, oh, such and such is so annoying. You always do that. You always steal my this, and you always do, like, you know, and you learn resiliency that way. You fight. You have street fights. You have schoolyard fights, and you learn resiliency that way. She's 10. She's never had a fight. Girl, you know how many fights I had by this time?
Really?
Oh my God.
Oh, you was brawling.
You know, I mean, I had fights.
By 10?
Yes. But yeah, so it teaches you resilience. It teaches you somewhat conflict management, right? You learn that your initial reaction of, I'm going to punch you in the face, doesn't always work. Because then I got beat up.
And as you escalated, the other person going to escalate it.
And it's like, maybe I should kind of learn another
dial back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like... Yeah. But these are the things that kids don't have anymore. So people talking shit to them online, people bugging them, people annoying them, and they don't have the tools to deal with it, to handle it. And if they don't, for whatever reason, because again, I don't know these parents. So if for whatever reason they're just not comfortable talking to their parents about the situation, there's not open communication, open dialogue, then that just... Yeah.
Synchronistically, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking. I was a clinician talking about how we should be more careful and thoughtful about the words that we're using, because we have, you know, certain diagnoses like anxiety. Having an anxiety diagnosis is not the same as being anxious or feeling anxious, right? And so, unfortunately, we're using the same words to mean different experiences. You can have a distressful situation, but that doesn't mean you're depressed, right? You can be going through a particular thing, and all of our emotions are healthy and important to go through. He was talking about how, you know, for a child and for a teen, like, you want to see some anger. You want to, if they're going through a breakup, you want to see some withdrawal if they're responding to a particularly distressful situation, because that's a healthy response to that kind of occurrence. What you don't want to see is that the self-harm, right? The things of that nature, right? And what you don't want to see is like a flat affect, like where people just completely disappear because they're not actually allowing themselves to respond to the situation. Unfortunately, online, this inhuman interface doesn't give you those life skills where you're in the moment forced to adapt. It allows you to ruminate and be in your head and wonder about what they mean. And sometimes even online, they don't really mean that. And it also creates this situation where people say things that they really shouldn't say, or project certain energies that
Twitter
they shouldn't.
fingers.
Yeah. Anyway, all of that being said, right? And so, in the end of the conversation with me and the children in the car the other day, they ended up feeling like, I believe they ended up understanding why it's important to shut down the phone and the device, because they were like, oh yeah, that's why you don't want us on there late at night. Because we need boundaries. And Sinai came up with that stuff, and Kyrie and Tatum were like, okay, I feel you, Poppy.
And I mean, we're gonna stay vigilant and for as long as we can, but things come into your consciousness at a certain time for a certain reason, right? So I probably will never see this patient again. But I apparently needed to see that, to hear that, so that I can bring that here. Yeah. So just open dialogue and loving on your kids. That's all I got to say about that.
And I will close that particular, because we're talking about, again, analog relationships in the digital world. Trust me, I'm the dude that saw the Matrix and I was like, can I get a chip? Right. I was dreaming about that from 20 years earlier. I'm so excited about technology and where we're going. And at the same time, we are supposed to be the adults in the room. The human beings are supposed to be the adults in the room with all of this technology. And it's important that we get ourselves grounded. It is important that we retain all of these strategies that we have evolved to have and our internal compass, because that technology is going to be advancing so fast, and we're going to be swept up off our feet. And, if you want to go be space travelers, like human beings, wherever you go, that's where you are. And if we don't get our shit together, we're going to create problems all over the galaxy.
Oh, Lord.
So let's, get our shit together now. Please. It's true.
Like I said, love on your kids, open conversation.
All right. It's time for Ask Kadai, where we read and answer a question from you, our listener family. Send your questions to itstheblackspark@gmail.com or message us on Instagram @theblacksparkpodcast.
In light of what we just spoke about, Adai, what are some of your self-care mental health strategies? What are some of your daily self-care and mental health strategies?
Daily. All right. Unfortunately, none of them are daily. No, I take deep breaths. I breathe deeply. Apparently I breathe deeper than most human beings. Anyway.
You do?
Yeah, my lung capacity is no joke. I love it. I have a grounding mat.
You do?
I do have a grounding mat. And I have a giant grounding mat under my sheet on our California king bed. On purpose. I sleep on that damn thing.
You feel like it helps? I'm just asking.
I honestly can't tell. But, the power of belief, eh? I've watched numerous testimonials and listened to people from
I'm asking for your testimony.
Well, I do. So when I'm standing, I stand on the grounding mat when I have my morning meetings.
Okay.
And then I get dressed and I head out, right?
You be in your morning meetings naked?
No, with no socks on or socks on.
Okay.
What are you talking? I mean, yes, I did say I get dressed. Haha. Yes. I don't be in my morning meetings naked.
Okay.
And when I am, the camera's off. I'm joking.
Oh my
I'm joking.
God.
No, I use my grounding mat. I stand on it or I put my feet on it when I sit down. And it's at least at 20 minutes to an hour.
Nice.
Daily, even in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever it is, right? So some of what I've done, showers in the morning are cold showers.
Okay, yeah, I heard about that.
Cold showers are good. You can
good for your immune system.
Yeah, it shows that the dopamine release and the other healthy chemicals actually are longer lasting, and it's time release.
Anti-aging.
Because your body is naturally a magical machine. And I've felt that. You can tell it's different. Meditation is good, but it's not daily. If anything, I do some form of daily meditation, but it's not always 20 minutes. Sometimes it's 5. Sometimes I go for a walk around campus.
Studies said, I think it was 5 to 8 minutes of daily meditation. It's proven to increase your telomeres in your cells, to increase your lifespan. So,
and I mean, it all depends. Every human being is different. Depends on your environment.
This is a study. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And there's so many studies too, right? There's there are Buddhist monks who have had their brains analyzed, and people are like, "That's not human." And it's like, yeah, because you ain't practice. That's why you think it's not human. But anyway, so there's that. I forgot to mention what I do daily. I do daily.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, you dump daily. Nice.
I dump like 2-3 times a day.
Well, that is always gonna help your mental health for sure.
I just
it's
like
definitely self-care.
Yeah. So green tea mixed with a functional mushroom mixed with a little bit of turmeric, mixed with what do you call it, shilajit, and some ginkgo biloba every morning.
Wow.
Every morning, because I can feel the impact of 5 hours of sleep. I can feel the impact of sitting in meetings, sitting in the car 3 hours a day. I can feel the brain fog of staying up late and then just doing dishes because the housework got to get done. And so, yeah, I got to do all, not that I got to, but I get to purchase supplements, put them in my drink, and I be going.
Nice. Until about 9-ish. Then he crashes.
But at that crash, I'm standing in front of the sink washing dishes.
No, it's a good run. That's good. Because you should be sleeping at that time.
Yeah, you're supposed to be sleeping.
Or at least winding down.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny. At a certain point, I could feel like, wait, I never thought this fast. I never thought this clearly before. Oh, yeah. It needs time. But yeah, and I was, initially I was like, how come I don't feel change? And it's like, it takes time for neurons to grow.
People say that when
neural pathways to develop.
When they start to take ADHD meds.
Yeah, I'm not taking microplastics right now.
I'm just saying. I know, people be like, "Is this
what happens?
Is this how you supposed to think?"
Yo, you know what? Okay, just a quick plug. Sleep. Hello. When I get 8 hours of sleep, I wake up and my life is great. Clarity for the entire day. When I get a good amount of sleep, it's normal. I'm natural because I'm a high energy human being. Period. But yeah, when I get a good amount of sleep, I just feel great, and you can make better decisions. Things are clearer. Priorities are straight. Challenge is actually going to sleep on time.
It is, yeah.
That's the
hard part.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do.
Nice.
And then hugs and kisses. I get a lot of hugs from these babies. I love it. I appreciate them. And then, I love hug and kiss from you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, sir.
Helps me out. It's good for my mental health, baby. Hook me up. Oh my goodness, where are you taking this? Wow, check her out. I'm just talking about hugs and kisses. I think my answer is sufficient.
Yeah.
But did you want to share any of your? Because it's not really Ask Me, but
no, it's definitely Ask a Die. I will say that I feel like the days when I am consciously trying to make sure I get some laughter in. I feel like those are like my best days. When I'm making sure that I'm laughing at something, I think that's what really helps. That's all I'm gonna give.
That's why The Office be on.
That's why The Office stays on. The Office, South Park, something about Martin, Different World, something in the background gotta have some jokes.
Yeah, you know what's funny that you said? I do a lot more daily. But yeah, I laugh. I add levity to various conversations in meetings and whatnot. The other thing that I do is the perspective flipping. Like I use a lot of, not metaphor, I use a lot of, what do you call it? Quotes.
Okay.
I scroll in my Instagram quotes. It's full of quotes.
Affirmations?
Well, not necessarily affirmations, but life is happening for me, not to me.
That's I get affirmation kind of thing.
Okay, sure. I get to do.
That's like reframing.
Yes, exactly. So I do it a lot, and I share it with other people, and then it's funny. Like a lot of folks in my daily circle have not heard certain things.
No, you're like a walking. You're like a walking preacher.
Yeah, and they're like, really? No, oftentimes they're like, oh, I like that. I was like, you can have it.
Anyway, it's Mental Awareness Month, so
be aware of your mental health and take care of yourself. Don't believe everything you think.
Nice.
It's Nia's Need to Know.
It's
Nia's Need to Know.
Ratchet random.
It's Nia's Need to Know. It's
yes,
Nia's
my
Need to
turn.
Know. Yes, I have said a whole lot.
You have.
Sorry for taking up all the air.
You did.
What do you, Nia, think that they need to know?
So Kevin McCarthy claims to have been negotiating in good faith about this whole debt ceiling raising, blah, 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 right? Apparently, he wants to, implement work requirements for entitlement programs like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, shit that you paid
That's the
into.
whole retirement. Like, I want to retire, not work.
Right.
What are you talking about?
So someone said McCarthy wants to require retirees who have worked all their lives
Their
to
whole lives.
work in order to access the benefits that they fucking worked for
and paid
for their fucking retirement.
What are you talking about, man?
Idiot. Ron DeSantis signed a law requiring transgender adults in Florida to obtain written consent from multiple oversight boards whose members are appointed by DeSantis in order to get gender-affirming care. So it was never about the children. It was never about books in schools and children being groomed. It was all to take gay and transgender LGBTQIA+ rights. And then yours.
And then
if you don't fit into that group just yet.
Yes, because once you get it on the books, it's easier to expand it than it is to retract it.
DeSantis also passed a bill requiring workers to show citizenship papers. So no undocumented workers have been showing up for the multitude of construction jobs and agriculture jobs in the state of Florida. There's even like a trucker strike going on. I don't know if it's still going on because it's been 2 weeks, but there was a trucker strike going on of truckers saying they're not gonna drive to Florida to deliver.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's that.
Forgive me for bringing levity to that. Are they driving to California? Is that why I ain't got no organic grapes no more?
It might be. It might be because the grapes were dying on the vine. They were showing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Is that the grapes of wrath? Sorry. This is terrible. That's just terrible. Apologies.
Donald Trump was found liable for assaulting and defaming E. Jean Carroll back in '94, I think it was, in a changing room at Bergdorf Goodman, I think it was. And then he was allowed to go on CNN the very next day after being found liable for sexual assault and defamation. He was allowed to go on CNN to spew more lies, insult another woman, the host of the show, and then defame E. Jean Carroll again to the laughter of his audience, which was of Republican primary voters, which obviously skew heavily toward Donald Trump. The audience was also told that they cannot boo. They can only clap.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Get this. Head of intelligence for the D.C. police has been arrested. His arrest stems from his having warned Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio that there was a warrant out for his arrest and for slipping confidential intelligence to Tarrio over a lengthy period of time. This all in the run-up to January 6th.
Wait.
Yes.
The head of DC intelligence for the police. Not federal, yeah. Wow. So they wanted to know how they had maps and how they knew of where to go and how many police is going to be where they was at.
Yep.
Okay.
North Carolina governor, who is actually a Democrat, vetoed an abortion ban bill that came across his desk.
Good for him.
And then the next day, because the Republicans have a supermajority in that state legislature, they overrode it.
Wow.
Yeah. So now there's a 12-week abortion ban in the state of North Carolina. Are y'all ready for me to stop talking about sad shit?
No, I don't be following the news to that extent, so go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh.
On to the ratchet.
Oh, we're on the ratchet. Okay, woo!
Martin finally got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Really?
I don't know why they be waiting so long. Like, why don't you give people their stars
while they're alive?
No, while they're popping. Like, he was popping in the 90s.
I wonder if he was offered then. Because, you got to pay for it. They actually pay for him. But I was wondering if Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So shout out to him.
Yeah, good for him.
Jamie Foxx has apparently been home. His daughter had to come on the internet and shut people down for saying that he was on his deathbed, and she had to come on the internet like, bro, y'all don't even know. He's been out of hospital for like weeks now. He's been playing pickleball the other day. Like, what is pickleball?
What is pickleball?
What is pickleball? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yes.
Beyonce started her tour, and now I regret
not having purchased tickets.
Well, so when the tickets came out, I was waiting for the LA shows to come out, and then when they came out, they were too high. Like, I was willing to spend like $500, maybe even $700 for a good seat, but that's not what it was, because the only one that was available is the one on her birthday. So no, that was never going to be in my price range. So, but then I was talking to my friend who loves to travel. Shout out to Fly Mommy Chronicles on Instagram. Yeah, so she loves to travel, and I was like, yeah, people are over here buying tickets to see her in Paris and Sweden or whatever. And my friend was like, you know what? I'm not a Beyonce fan like that, but I could legit see traveling.
That makes sense.
And I should have listened to her.
Yeah.
Because that would have been an epic trip.
Yeah, you go enjoy the place,
right?
And you get to see
Beyonce.
Yeah.
So I really should have did that.
Yeah.
And lastly, on the News Need to Know, Nick Cannon confessed to mixing up the Mother's Day cards to the moms of his 12 kids, sending a card that was meant for one mom to another. And this is why we be coming for him, because you can't be every place all the time. So, like, if you done mixed up the mamas, you damn sure done mixing up them babies.
Mixing up Sharon. Yo.
The only ones I know he knows are Rock and Roll from Mariah Carey, his first two. Other than that, it's like your grandmother.
You.
She, girl, you know who I'm talking to. That's what that is.
Oh my God. Are any of them in the same state?
I should surely hope so.
I mean,
he gonna go on I don't know if it's a podcast or something. He done went on somebody's airwaves talking about it's not the amount of time that you spend with each child. It's just that when you spend time with your father, if those times are good and your father makes you feel good, that's all that matters. I feel like it's more than that. I feel like it might be just a little bit more than that.
Quality time more often. Yeah. Got to reinforce those neural pathways.
Yeah.
And
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
That's not how that works.
I don't know, Nick.
All right. So this week I learned. That this is why people be finding they like one nail tech, one braider, one waxer.
I think I know this story.
One, facial esthetician, like
one barber.
I went and said, hey, we done moved. It's been a year. We done moved to a new location. Let me find a hair place.
Damn.
It's for my braids, right? Because, right? I've tried a couple. One lady burnt my scalp. Another lady made Tatum's hair look like, 90s church hair that was just weighed down with like Dax grease anyway. And charged me an arm and a leg for a kid's wash and set and trim.
Yeah.
Was those the only two people? My one nail place I did down here took 6 hours.
Yo. She was in there all day. That don't make no sense.
6 hours.
Just chatting.
And she still fucked up my pedicure.
Oh my God.
So I had a conference to go to a number of weeks ago. That was a month ago now. And I wanted to get my hair braided or at least twist, like a quick kinky twist, quick crochet twist. That's what I was going for. So I said, this is only going to take like an hour for her, 2 hours max for her to do, get it in there, and I'll be able to at least last the 4 or 5 days of the conference.
Minimal.
At the bare minimum. I was hoping I could get a couple weeks, like 3 weeks, but at the bare minimum, it could look good for the conference. I went in there. Lady was nice. She was a boomer. And sometimes boomers be talking shit about millennials and Gen Z. She was talking a little shit about her nephew who's living with her and wants to be a musician and ain't doing shit in terms of you trying to get a job.
Advance that.
No, he's trying to advance that, but he's not.
He only know 9 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So he ain't trying to get a job. And she's not. She's like, I'm ready to kick him out. And it's like, anyway, I don't know their life, so whatever. So good conversation. Everything was fine. When I got home, and she had a client right after me, so she had booked back to back. Like this is what she do. When I get home, I have different sizes of twists happening in my hair. You can see my hair through the poking out through the twist. Like, it looked like you seen them crackheads from the. I mean, if y'all old enough, y'all remember like crackheads from the 80s and 90s. You remember like you used to walk down the street and you would see like somebody's braid on the street,
just on the floor.
Just that was finna be me. That was finna be me. I know that these hairdressers nowadays be having all these kind of rules. Don't come in with no kids. $25, $50 deposit. If you don't show up within 2.5 seconds of your appointment, I'm charging you half. And if you don't come within 10 minutes, I'm charging you the full price. And then you're not going to be able to book with me no more. And blah, 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 blah. Like, it's an arm and a leg just to get an appointment. And then their calendars be booked out forever. So I was lucky to get this. And this is the shit that I get.
You didn't mention what you had to do. Yeah, so she ended up taking out all of the braids
within an hour of coming home. Looking at my hair,
because I looked at it and I was like, "Hey,
there was a rubber band sticking out." It's
like
so bad,
and it was inconsistently done. Like you could see her hair for like an inch, and then you could see where the twist started. And some of them were super thick, and some of them were super thin, and it wasn't like evenly spaced.
No.
And she had like the coloring was different on it,
and it was like scraggly. She didn't shape it. It was
bad.
So stick with who you know.
You know what I mean?
Okay, the devil you know. Stick with who you know, and that's how we got Joe Biden. And look, I mean, you know.
Oh God, what? You just throw in there politics. Oh, he's the dude we knew from before.
That's who we knew. We know where we going, okay, and it's better than the bullshit that we had with the chance in it. Right?
Yeah.
Stick with what you know. That's what I got this week. That's what I learned.
Wow. Jeez, I had to throw in the Democratic plug. All right.
Yeah, don't fuck us over, please. Don't do it this time. Please just vote for the Democrat. I'm not trying to get Trump again, please. Thank you. Please and thanks.
Please and thanks. Well, I will say a few things. I heard this and it worked for me.
Okay.
When the butterfly emerges, the cocoon has served its purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Oh, you snapping? If y'all got snaps, put them in there.
Was that a haiku? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, it was not. So your dreams got you to where you are, right? Mm-hmm. Your aspirations got you to where you are, but learn how to let them go. Mm-hmm. Because where you need to go next may not require what you needed to do to get where you are.
Yes.
And so don't allow the skills that you have developed in your coping strategies to now become maladaptive coping strategies. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Don't allow all the practices you picked up. Don't hold on to them so tightly that you can't let them go and pick up something new in order to get to that next level. Mm-hmm. Because it can become a situation where you're so wrapped up in your own anxiety around who you used to be, mm-hmm. and you hold on to how you became who you are, and then you get stuck who you are. Yep. When maybe God's plan, they got something more for you, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And so it's super simple. Yeah. That's what I got to say.
I love it. Spark it up on that.
Spark it up.
Thanks for checking us out. Remember to follow us on Instagram at The Black Spark Podcast.
And if you like what you hear, leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening.